Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you're all having a great day as always. A free way to support the channel is by leaving a thumbs up, by leaving a comment or comments. Thank you to everyone who, those of you who leave 5+ comments. I do notice your efforts and it is quite spectacular. Or by subscribing if you have not already done so. And very big thank you to all the new Patreon members. There were quite a few yesterday. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If you're not looking at the screen, I tipped my digital hat or did an arm wave in your manner. I'm not sure what I'm saying. And without further ado, let's jump right into it. The cryptocurrency market right now seems to be doing quite well. For those of you not looking at the screen, it says Cardano price technical breakout sets out for a 60% rally eyeing $2.20. The entire altcoin market looks quite healthy right now. There are a lot of price predictions, of course, floating around as to exactly how high we are going to go. If I am not mistaken, I believe that... Didn't Cardano hit $2.10 or something like that before we had the entire musky drop down? I'm pretty sure it hit $2 and something cents. Once again, everyone being optimistic that this is going to be the run where we see a $10 ADA. It says Litecoin surges by 21%. Analysts say Litecoin could hit $1,000 in the current bull market. I think this is also just going to be an eventual, not possibility, the thing that's actually going to happen. I'm pretty sure during the last bull run, we had a $300 Litecoin. It seems all but doable that it would 3x its previous all-time high when we tend to see normally 10x's from the previous bull run. So that's kind of cool as well. This one says Bitcoin and Ethereum test key resistance. Altcoins extend rally. Some altcoins are up between 13, 17, 25. I think one of them I saw like on 31% over the last 24 hours. And I was like, good. I'm glad we got here. I know it took us about a good 7 or 8. I'll give it a good 10 days in total since the entire Twitter Elon Musk fiasco began to take place. And then all the news that we had coming out of China, which was all complete nonsense because it's news that we've had every single year before. I guess it's just maybe the weekend. Maybe people were like, I don't feel like trading. I see the prices are dropping. And I don't even care if I'm losing money. And then Monday they started carrying again. But alas, yeah. And also really funny, this news is actually from 2 days ago. I just still think it's relevant, if you will. It says Bitcoin whales have started buying again while short-term investors book major losses. The news that we've been getting over the last, it's been months now. Every single time that Bitcoin drops, new entries into the market tend to sell off their coins, and the people who've been here the longest have been buying and accumulating those, or stacking those sats, as the kids say. And whales, every single time that prices drop, continue to accumulate. And I assume today's Tuesday, at least at the time of me making this video, by Friday or next Monday, we should have news about 3 different companies who definitely bought the dip. There were people who were buying as the prices were still dropping. It was MicroStrategy. They bought like several $100 million. Anyway, that's all the price news. Nothing too different, if you will. Every coin is going up. So the news was basically that this coin is going up, that coin is going up. And the price predictions have begun to make their way back into our news because everyone's trying to see exactly where we're going to go. And without further ado, let's move on. In the biggest story of the day that should not even be news because I could have told you that they were already in the cryptocurrency space. But alas, this is, a big shocker for the people out there. Financial giant Goldman Sachs has acknowledged Bitcoin as a new asset class in comments made alongside a recent research report. The report includes comment from Goldman Sachs members, including GS Global Head of Digital Assets, Matthew McDermott. McDermott stated that, and I quote, that Bitcoin is now considered an investable asset. He added that Bitcoin has its own idiosyncratic risk due to its novelty and due to the fact that its price activity doesn't behave as expected when it is compared to other assets. And a lot of the times they will, you have to mention, first of all, the crypto market is risky, but the caveat is a lot of these companies consider Bitcoin to be risky because they do not control it. If you control a market or have a complete share of a market, well, then it's not risky anymore because you kind of control the movement of the prices. McDermott continued by noting that Bitcoin has tended to be more aligned with risk-on assets. He also says that clients and others are largely treating Bitcoin as a new asset class. Elsewhere, GS commodity analyst Mikhail Sprogis and GS head of commodities research Jeff Curry argued that cryptocurrencies can act as a store of value only if they have other real-world uses. They added that value is determined by each network's size and growth, along with the information those networks verify. So, for those of you who are keeping track, once again, every single bank who has ever said anything negative about Bitcoin, the cryptocurrency space, our markets, who should be in it, who should not be in it, who should be allowed, that's also a big thing, to be in our market. They all have, in some way, come out and said, hey, we secretly have loved Bitcoin for a very long time. Here's the tweet about the actual information that Goldman Sachs released. I didn't feel like opening up all the tabs, just going to be completely honest with you. It would take too much effort. My clicking fingers not in the mood. Right. So, once again, for those of you keeping track, every single bank has made a full 180, if you will. It's a little annoying because this keeps happening over and over. There was just news about 2 days ago. It wasn't Goldman Sachs. It was Jamie Dimon, who's the head of JP Morgan Chase, and oh gosh, there was one other person. I don't know who it was. As prices were falling over the weekend, they made sure to note how, well, maybe people are buying gold. And, I assume this sell-off is happening because Bitcoin's baja, whatever they decided to say. But at the same exact time, we know that these banks love Bitcoin, that they've been buying up Bitcoin. They've been trying to create products and services and custody markets and all these other things for Bitcoin. So I don't know what it is. Or rather, I know that it's market manipulation in its own form. They are probably not allowed to do these things or insider trading, et cetera, within the stock market. So they make sure to have a little bit of fun accumulating their Bitcoin in our market. But, yeah, sure. Wonderful. So, I could, like I said, I could have told you years ago that Goldman Sachs was into it. But now we have confirmation that they think it is an investable asset class. And we can only therefore assume that they have invested in said asset class because we probably would not have received information otherwise. Anyway, that's the Goldman Sachs news. I made sure to only have 3 tabs open for it because my brain couldn't handle anymore. Like, this was the news of the day. That someone else who hated us happens to love us now, because ain't that how it always works? Anyway, that's the Goldman Sachs news. And let's move on. Crypto lending firm BlockFi says that it accidentally sent large amounts of Bitcoin to some of its customers. Users began reporting the mix-up last week, with one post on Reddit showing a 701 Bitcoin bonus payment worth more than $25 million at the time of publishing. The erroneous payment stems from a March trading campaign that rewarded clients who reached certain trading volume targets. According to BlockFi, it intended to send Gemini dollars. This person was going to receive $25 million in Gemini dollars. It intended to send Gemini dollars to its client who participated in their trading promotion, but it incorrectly transferred the amount in Bitcoin. The firm says some of its clients withdrew the Bitcoin they received, and about 10 million is outstanding. This is another one of those situations where I stupidly want to ask. Here's the actual screenshot from the person who got the 701 Bitcoin. I want to ask, would you keep the Bitcoin for yourself? Now, I know the answer, so you don't explicitly have to tell me, but this happens so often where someone just receives like money gets sent the wrong way, or someone like this happened about 2 years ago. Somebody sent a Bitcoin payment. Now, here's the weird part. They said that they put in the fee as the actual like payment amount, or something vice versa. And they thought that they were, so basically on Bitcoin, they were trying to add in the network fee as like, $38 so that it could go through the network as quick as possible, like no waiting times, because back then Bitcoin's transaction fees were like $1. They're like, I don't want to wait, I want to have, complete priority. But it was mixed up, and they sent 38 Bitcoin, and the actual amount that they sent in Bitcoin was like 0.11, or I forgot how the story goes. But I think someone actually ended up receiving it fraudulently. It's a whole bunch of... Just pay attention to where you're sending your money, I guess, is kind of the point. I don't know. I try to tell myself that I would give this money back. If somebody sent me $25 million, I think I would just kind of disappear. I'd go to an island somewhere and live out my best life. But I thought that was fascinating, to say the least. I'm sure some people are definitely on their way to heaven because they gave that money back, but 25 million is a lot of money. Even, like if it was like $500,000, I would go, oh, fine, I'll get my $500,000 in Gemini dollars. But then you go, it's Bitcoin. What if Bitcoin does like a 10-15x in the next couple of years? That's $200,000-$300,000 in Bitcoin. Anyway, I'll shut up now. That's the they're probably not getting their money back news. And without further ado, let's move on. It's so sad because I know I wouldn't. Next up, members of the State Duma are now working on amendments that will permit the use of cryptocurrency as a contractual means of payment. Digital financial assets are regarded as property under Russian law, and the changes will legalize crypto payments between parties in a contract. Fantastic. The lower house of Russia's parliament, the Duma, is gearing up to remove barriers to using cryptocurrencies in contract payments. The proposals are subject to an ongoing review, but according to the chairman of the Committee of Legislation, Pavel Krasnikiov, there is a consensus on the matter. Speaking at the I don't have to even read that. So the point is, crypto regulations, they are chugging along while they may be extremely slow. A lot of the times, all the regulations that we end up getting are, we're going to tax it, or we got to make legislation to say that cryptos can be used the same exact way as money. But this is just the path that we're constantly being led on. I personally, myself, find it quite fascinating when they try to legalize or allow the usage of something that they have no control over, that they're also not creating. You may have a part in the mining process, but you do not own or create Bitcoin. So I find that funny. Like, that's like being like, well, we're gonna allow that tree to exist. You didn't make the tree, the earth did. So that's kind of the... Anyway, that's the Russia news. Yeah, because we keep getting news about them. I say like once every 2 weeks. We keep getting news from there, and it's always kind of quite wacky. The wackiest that we've had from Russia was years ago when they were trying to make a law that basically said if you're too poor, you can't own crypto. And I was like, that doesn't feel right. But I think that one got scrapped, and then they tried to make it so that like if you were rich, you had to like declare your crypto or something like that. And I'm pretty sure the rich people were like, that's not happening. We're not gonna. Anyway, so yeah, you can use crypto to make contracts or inside of contracts and all this other stuff that, should have just been commonplace because you can't control the networks. Anyway, that's all the Bitcoin news. And let's move on. What's this one? Oh, here's another fun one. Peer-to-peer NFT marketplace OpenSea has listed a $1 million red pixel. You heard that correct. It is an NFT of a red pixel with a price of $1 million. The NFT space continues to court controversy for a multitude of reasons, but the simplicity of a $1 million red pixel is just nonsensical. So apparently the artist wants to sell their pixel for $1 million, and their hope is that the next person will then pay $2 million for it, and then the third person will pay $3 million for it, and it'll just continue this way so that they can continue making headlines, and they say make internet history. So that's the red pixel dot. I saw someone else a couple days ago, maybe even like 2 days ago at this point, who was like, can you stop talking about NFTs? I find it fascinating. I find it completely that we've gotten to this point where this means that there is someone on this planet who has either read this article or who has seen this somewhere, and they're going, I think I want to pay $1 million. Do you understand how much $1 million is? Sit here and think for 10 seconds. If I handed you $1 million, what could you do with it? Besides, reinvesting into crypto. Like, think of the sheer amount of things that you'd be able to buy with that $1 million. You could buy so many rental properties that you'd realistically never, ever would have to work again. I'm not going to say you should buy cars and all that other stuff, because I keep seeing, I'm seeing it again. I'm seeing it on Reddit and other places, and people are like, yeah, bro, when I cash out, I'm going to get a house for me and my chick. I'm buying a Maserati. I'm buying a gold ring. And I'm like, I pray that you are joking, because that's just kind of not going to happen. So anyway, or rather it might happen, and then they'll be a little worried 15 years down the line when they have no retirement money. But anyway, the point is, it's a red pixel. It's kind of the same exact way. Remember those, what do they call those crypto punks or whatever Sotheby was selling, and they sold for like $17 million. It was legit like 12 pixels of a face with goggles. So I think it's just fascinating that this is kind of the world that we're in, where so many asset classes are not even in bubbles. They're just in plubbles. I was trying to say like planets and bubbles, like a planet-sized bubble, but plubbles is the word that kind of came out. Anyway, that's the red pixel news. If this actually happens, I don't know what's happening to reality anymore. The current asking price is 363 Ether, approximately $988,000. Oh boy, let's move on. Next up, wow, this was also way too popular for me to be able to handle. Ray Dalio, the billionaire investor who presides over the asset management firm Bridgewater Associates, says that he holds Bitcoin. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. Speaking to Michael J. Casey at Consensus, Dalio added that he'd rather own Bitcoin than a bond in an inflationary environment. The veteran economist has recently shown positive interest in the cryptocurrency, conceding that he might be missing something about Bitcoin. Dalio's latest update on Bitcoin came in January, when he weighed up Bitcoin's benefits as an inflationary hedge. Bitcoin's maximum supply is capped at 21 million, which is what underlines its digital scarcity value proposition. Until today, though, he'd never confirmed that he owned the asset. So, yeah. Another rich person owns Bitcoin. He purchased Bitcoin. He's in love with Bitcoin. He's making Bitcoin babies, whatever people do with their Bitcoin. And everyone's really shocked. Like, I mean, this was also as big as the Goldman Sachs news. This was all over the place. I listen. All these people own Bitcoin already. All of them. Every single one of them. Are you hearing me? Is there like some communication error? Am I sounding like a robot again? I don't know why I'm doing the robot. It's just more of they all own Bitcoin in some manner, in some sort of way. This keeps happening every single week, not every other week. It keeps happening all the time. It's either a bank, an institution, or a rich person who's like, oh yeah, I secretly bought $23 million worth of Bitcoin last week. Oh, surprise. They all own it. It's the same exact way. Remember, what's his guy's name? Is it Peter Thiel? Peter Michaels, Peter McPeterson, whatever that Peter. There's like 12 Peters in the cryptocurrency space, and I can't remember all their last names. The guy who hates Bitcoin but loves gold, that one. And I know somebody said it out loud. Thank you. I can't hear you, but thank you for saying it. And he was, for years, he was like, oh, Bitcoin's terrible. I hate Bitcoin. And then one day he was like, oh, my son owns Bitcoin. I'm going to disown him. And I was like, is he serious? And then like a week and a half later, he also mentioned that he also owns some Bitcoin. I'm like, of course you do. He said someone gifted it to him. And I'm like, you don't have to lie to us. Like, it's no real thing. I think if anyone's obsessed enough to continue, he tweets about Bitcoin like 38 times a day on his Twitter. It's clear that you own some kind of Bitcoin. So anyway, Once again, another rich person owns Bitcoin, and this was also popular. It says Max Kaiser got it right. Ray Dalio now owns Bitcoin. Or we can just assume that all these rich people who keep talking about Bitcoin on a monthly basis probably at least put like $500,000 into it. At least have half a Bitcoin just to be like, oh, all right. Anyway, that's that one. And let's move on. And to finish things off so remember it was yesterday and the day before, I'm pretty sure I mentioned it twice. Everything, I don't care what it is on this planet, all boils down to one thing and one thing only. It starts with an M and it's not the Macarena. It's money. Everything always is about money, no matter how you look at it. Clayton, the ex-chairman of the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, and the man who repeatedly said the U.S. market did not need a cryptocurrency ETF. Also, the same exact guy who had the lawsuit against Ripple on his last day in office, almost cursed, is now helping a firm with its own Bitcoin ETF application. It says what a difference a year makes. Nope, it is just corruption and greed. There is nothing else but that. Clayton, who previously said that Bitcoin's market was prone to market manipulation and therefore shouldn't have an ETF on the U.S. stock exchange, resigned from the SEC last year to take a position as a crypto advisor to a digital hedge fund called One River Asset Management. Do you know what it takes for you to leave the top position of one of the top regulatory positions in the world, not just the United States? The SEC's rules usually trickle down to other countries. To leave that to work for a hedge fund, always about money. And One River today, guess what they did? They filed an application with the SEC for a carbon neutral Bitcoin ETF. It is the latest high-profile company to do so. The SEC is currently reviewing 8 applications, none of which will make it through. And the market is, according to analysts, hungry for such a product. I don't know who this person is, but I tip my hat to thee. They said only 2 possible takeaways here. Clayton thinks a Bitcoin ETF should be approved now, or he'll do anything for money. It is very sad. I hoped that people would have gotten it together at this point. It is terrible the things that people do for money. It is terrible the amount of when you want to talk about actual manipulation, this is it. This person made sure that for 7 or 8 years, not one Bitcoin ETF went through because of their say. No, this is terrible. We can't do this. The world does not need a Bitcoin ETF. You notice how the rest of the world hasn't crumbled and other countries have Bitcoin ETFs? He rejected every single one of them, left the SEC, filed a lawsuit against Ripple that he would not have to deal with, and now he's working for a hedge fund who is pushing forward something that he said the U.S. does not need. It's absolutely terrible. Not even slightly. I'll be honest with you. I completely hope, you know what? I would like 2 scenarios to take place. Either none of these ETFs get approved, none of them, or every other ETF gets approved except for this one. I think that would actually make my millennium. That would make me very happy just because, logic. Anyway, I saw this, thought it was quite fascinating. And absolutely terrible at the exact same time. This goes hand in hand with every other billionaire talking about how crypto's garbage. And then, yeah, I bought the dip. I created the dip, but I also bought it. So, Bitcoin's amazing now because I finally got in at the price that I wanted to get in. Go Bitcoin! Anyway, terrible, right? It's absolutely horrible. And these are the people who are supposed to be regulating and protecting our market. A lot of times they will say out loud, we're doing this for investor protection. Which investor? You? The one who makes the rules? who makes the rules and are also able legally to be able to be inside of the markets as well. I'm pretty sure they own tons of stocks. And anyway, so that's the corruption news. I'm sorry. That's the someone else is filing for a Bitcoin ETF news. People will actually do anything for money. It's absolutely terrible. As always, a very special thank you to my Patreon supporters. Professor Wally from Gunbot University, The Dealer's Den, Red Plump Tomato, Umnu, Wish Nikki, The Letter M, Stephen Dirks, Not Brain, Captain Something in the Z-Way Lay, Crypto Black Sheep, AJ Cut 5, Speedy 655, and Carlos was like, Mobarazi, Jojo Shawshow, VB Nerd, 21, Miguel Grollet, Lauren DeSilva, Quoted Biddy, Bare Bones Mining, Troy Allgood, Space Case, Need a Miracle, Pat Turnoster, Conan, Don't Skip Leg Day, Snacky Chan, Tolek Banana, Auspicious Agile and Blockchain, Navarro Williams, David James, Attila the Han, Yasha Harari, Utopia 569, Moonman High, XRP, Martin, Storio Nostromo, John Sarson, The Animal Reader, A Bibliophobia, Todd, Mullis, Adam, Graysick, Moher Maroni, Master Ventures in Thailand, Jared Schneider, Wise Knight, Owl, 242 to the World, Bankroll Network, Crypto Artist, Cold E3D, Damien Setsuna, Richie Rich III, Vlad the Impaler, Paxis, Nick Mangialavori, Jim Gardner, Jeremy Fox. I'm getting really tired. It's like hitting me right now. Jeez Louise. Jeremy Fox, Minting Coins, Miller His Chest Every Day, and Kyle Skips Leg Day. Yes to Crypto. Bodie McBoatface. Bodie McBoatface. Anytime Fitness, Mouse Corner Staff, Bake Me a Cake, Tigger and Macho Nisa, On Crypto with Lionel, Crayla Michelle, URL, and Bolero Bastos. Thank you all very, very much for your support. Thank you to everyone who is a member of the channel. Thank you to all the new Patreon members. Thank you to everyone who left a like, who left a comment or comments, who's subscribed, who's here listening, supporting in their own way. At the momento, Bitcoin is currently at 38,115 US dollars. It is up by 4.4%. A lot of jagged movements happening over the last couple of hours. We are officially below a $1 trillion Bitcoin market cap. Thank you, Muskie. Ethereum is up by 14%. Binance Coin is up by 16%. Cardano is up by 6%. XRP is up by 15 percentile points. Doggy Coin is up by 5. Polkadot is up by 8. Unicorn is now the number 10 coin. Wow. It is up by 25%. Chainlink is up by 10. Ethereum Classic is up by 37%. Hot diggity dog. Polygon is up by 17%. EOS is up by 17%. Tron is up by 10%. Aave is up by 9. OKB is up by 8. Neo is up by 17. Shiba Inu Coin is up by 17%. Clay, it's called Clay, is up by 21%. AMP is up by 16%. Crypto Chain Token Chain is up by 17%. Cosmos is up by 9%. Safe Moon Coin is up by 16%. Pancakes are up by 19%. BitTorrent Token is up by 21%. Rune Chain Thor is up by 10%. And yeah, that's about it. Yeah. Luna's down by 6%. So, anyway, the crypto market's looking good. Let's see exactly where the rest of the week takes us. I assume those institutions are buying that dip. I do hope you all enjoyed. I do hope you all are having a great day, a great morning, a great afternoon, a great evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I do hope that it is absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching and or listening, and I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.